What's up, everyone? Welcome to another lovely Monday on Variant Live. Hope everyone had a good weekend. It's been a very exciting weekend, especially for the comic book community and all that fun stuff. But first things first, as you guys know, every Monday we have to recap what anime we were currently watching. And the anime that we are currently watching right now is Attack on Titan Season 1. And thus far, it has been great. If you guys haven't been watching it or you want to watch it and can't watch it, as you know, we have partnered up with the great people over at Verve, spelled VRV, and the link for that is in the description below. If you sign up through us, you get an exclusive 30-day ad-free trial for their premium membership, which is awesome. You go watch animes like Dragon Ball Super, My Hero Academia, Attack on Titan. The list goes on and on and on and on. Bravest Warriors, all kinds of fun stuff. Anyway, this past week we watched episodes two. No, no, no. I keep saying episode two. Apparently, I really like episode two because last week I kept saying episode two as well. This week we watched episodes 3 and 4, and I actually just watched them today. Funny enough, actually, just like right before I got on here because I just didn't have a chance this weekend, so I had it playing on my laptop while I was writing up some scripts and fun stuff. Anyway, this show is awesome. I really like how the part we're in now. I believe the main character is Aaron. Again, I'm only on episode 4, so the names haven't stuck in my head yet with all the characters. It usually takes me about halfway through the season for me to remember all the character names and stuff like that. Anyway, the main character. There was a time jump from episode 2 to episode 3. There was a time jump, and now these kids are now training to be scouts to take down and learn to beat up these titans, so to speak. But in it, we see that it's not so easy for the main character. And then at the end, there's kind of a twist. Well, pretty much what happens is they're in training, and you see the sergeant like yelling at all of them, being like this stereotypical stuff. It's like, "You piece of crap! You can't do this!" Trying to like basically break them down. Break them down. There's like this, I guess, this higher general who is talking to this other military guy in the background, and he's like, "Why is he doing this? Why is he like tearing down these kids so much? Why is he yelling at them like so much?" And he's like, basically, it's to bring them down to zero, so you're basically building this person or their personality, from ground up. I was like, okay, I guess. I mean, it's like a normal military tactic. You see it in every movie. It's kind of break someone down and reconstruct them as you want in your own in your own image. Um. Anyway, it's really cool. So we were introduced to some new characters. Uh, and if you guys remember, if you guys are watching along with me, you should remember because hopefully you watched it this last week. But even if you've seen it a long time ago, you might remember. There's a scene where this girl's eating a potato, and the sergeant's like yelling at every single character, but then he like sees out of the corner of his eye. It's like, why is this? I'm yelling and like drilling everyone, and there's this girl eating a potato when we're supposed to be in line, it's just like not the right time for that. So obviously he goes up to her, he's like, "What are you doing? You maggot, blah blah blah," and all this stuff. And she's like, "Eating a potato?" And she's like basically like giving the most obvious answers ever. He's like he's like, "Why are you eating potato while I'm here, while we're doing this, blah, whatever he's saying?" And she's like, "Because they taste good." And he's like just dumbfounded. He's like, "What? What do you Sasha, there we go. Thank you. Someone in the comment section said her name is Sasha. Potato Girl, yes." Again, I don't know all their names yet. And it was just hilarious because like he's yelling at her, like veins bulging in his head, and she's just giving him the most like like, everyone loves potatoes, like, I thought why people like potatoes. And I don't know, there's kind of like this whole bit throughout, like, the show. Then he makes her run, and she's not allowed to eat for, like, 5 days, and she was more depressed about not being able to eat for 5 days and having to run and do all this extra exercise and all that stuff. I'm hoping this is gonna be a running gag throughout the series. Again, I'm only on episode, 4, but I'm hoping this is a bit, because everyone's calling her Potato Girl already. Like, the guy in the comment even said, that Potato Girl, but I'm hoping that's a running joke because that's hilarious. But yeah, then in the episode we see, um, I guess they're called scouts, but in the episode you see like because basically what it is how they fight these titans and stuff like that is they have like these zip line things attached to like their thighs. I don't know what they're called yet. I'm sure they've mentioned their name. I don't remember the names of the devices yet, but they basically shoot cables out, and it's almost like they're web slinging, but from their thighs with like controls in their hands, and then it shoots out and stuff like that. Anyway, you have to learn how to keep your balance with that. And this whole episode is like it's very basic training still. So the main character and all the characters, they basically just put them up on like two cables on either side, and they raise them in the air, and they have to see if they can keep their balance. Main character is all like, he's like, "I'm gonna get revenge. I'm gonna take these guys down," and all that stuff, and he can't even stay stable on the thing. and it's like frustrating. And long story short, by the end of the episode, um, he figures out, or the sergeant or the main military dude, I don't know what rank he is, the high ranked officer guy is like, yeah, you had equipment that was faulty, and that's why you couldn't do it. But he was actually able to stabilize himself with the faulty equipment. Then once he had the normal equipment, he was like a pro. And then by the end of the episode, he's like freaking like swinging around and going through the woods like he's an anime Spider-Man. But no, thus far the series has been really good. I enjoyed it a lot. I've noticed there's some, I guess, it's kind of like that in all anime. There's some moments though where like it just seems a little off-putting. Like I guess it's meant to be quirky on purpose. Like there was this one moment, um, what was it? Where I kind of didn't like. I had to rewind it because I'm like, did I miss something? I don't know if it's playing up for stuff later, but like she's like, I guess Potato Girl was talking to a brunette girl at a table, and I guess it was kind of like, they were kind of becoming friends or stuff like that. They were just, trying to feel each other out. But I don't know. It was just the way the scene happened. I'm like, wait, what? This is kind of random. Like it kind of went from one thing to another really quick, and I kind of was like, okay. I don't know. I don't even know if I explained that right. It just felt like odd editing. That's that's, I guess that's the way to put it. It just felt odd. And I don't know if they're setting that stuff up for later, but that's how I personally felt about it. But I mean, that's just a little gripe. And yes, obviously, if you haven't watched Attack on Titan, since we're talking about 2 episodes every week next week, it's going to be episodes 5 and 6. There's going to be spoilers. So I feel like that's kind of obvious, but maybe I should just say it at the beginning of every episode anyway. Every week we're going to start off talking about the 2 episodes, and then I'm just going to rant on it. Maybe talk about some people in in the comments and all that fun stuff to just chat about some anime with you. But anyway, I'm liking it thus far. I said it last week. It's kind of funny though, coming off of like, because the animes I usually watch, again, like I've watched several animes. I'm not like I'm not nearly as versed in anime as I am in like comic books and superheroes. So there's only like a handful I watch. So I'm trying to expand my horizon because I grew up with Dragon Ball Super, watched a little bit of Gundam, Sailor Moon. Oddly enough, I watched Sailor Moon because that was on what was it? I forget the name of the channel. It's a channel in Florida. It was a popular channel in Florida. I watched Sailor Moon, um, Dragon Ball Z, obviously, and then more in more recent years, One Punch Man, My Hero Academia, and now Attack on Titan. So yes, but again, it was weird because I was watching Dragon Ball Super and watching My Hero Academia, which are basically like superhero, like funny shows, right? Where this one's funny and has a lot of humor, but this one's more serious in tone, where it's definitely not as poppy or as superhero-y, and like there's a lot darker moments. So it was funny coming from like an anime, watching all animes that are like that, to this one's like, oh wow, this Titan's like biting people's heads off. Anyway, I really like it thus far. I'm very curious to see where it goes from here, and so where he's fully trained and starts devouring and beating some Titans. But if next week we're gonna be watching episodes 5 and 6, if you want to watch along with us again, you could sign up for a free 30-day ad-free trial of Verb. The link is in the description below, and then you could watch along with us. And it's fun times. You can watch all the animes your heart desire. They have more stuff than that. They actually have like movies, independent movies, all kinds of stuff on there. It's check it out, guys. But moving along, the big topic of today or the weekend, we have a new MCU movie. We have a new one. Black Panther has been released, and it is swiffering the nation. This movie is breaking all kinds of records. First off, this movie already is the fifth largest opening of all time of any movie, not superhero movies, of all movies. Fifth largest opening. That is crazy. That is all kinds of nutty. But I got some more facts for you. Got some more facts before I talk about spoilers for the movie. This weekend, opening weekend, in a 3 day for the 3 day weekend, it made $192 million. If you want to count the holiday weekend, because President's Day, 4 day, then in the U.S. it made $218 million. Worldwide, the movie made $361 million. Disney's not hurting. But that's just awesome that this movie is breaking all sorts of records. It's just nice to see that like superhero movies are still here and they're very strong, because I know like a lot of people are talking about like the fatigue, the movies are going to go down, but it's nice to see that not even just Marvel, just the genre in general is finding new ways to reinvent itself to kind of stay above it and be like, yeah, no, we're not going to die anytime soon. I mean, eventually, like everything, I would imagine, as much as I love comic book movies, I would imagine it's eventually gonna dip down a little bit because oversaturation is a thing that's gonna happen eventually, where instead of getting like this year we got like 9 comic book movies, we'll only get like 2 or 3. Can you believe that too? 9 comic book movies this year? We're getting 9 comic book movies this year? That's crazy. That's just all kinds of crazy stuff. And what is this? Spider-Man into the Spider-Verse. I think is New Mutants this year? That might have been moved next year. I don't know. You guys know there's a lot. Deadpool, Infinity War still coming out. Lots of stuff. You could count Incredibles, maybe that makes it 10. Incredibles 2 is coming out. Anyway, let's get into my spoiler thoughts of Black Panther. But before I do, I just want to let you guys know that I don't here. You guys probably know here on Variant that we don't really touch like on political things and stuff like that. That's not our shtick. It's not my stick. I don't really like to touch on that stuff and whatnot. So I'm not going to be touching on any of that. We're going to leave that to other people. That stuff is cool and awesome. But here, we're all about the comic book side of it. That's how I'm going to judge the movie. That's how I'm going to talk about the movie because that's what matters. Because what do I talk about? All things comics. Keep it fun and all that stuff. So, with that said, let's get into my spoiler thoughts on the movie. I thought the movie was, like I said in my review, in my spoiler free review, I thought the movie was really good. I enjoyed it. Did I think it was the best movie ever? I did not think it was the best movie ever, but that doesn't mean anything because I don't think Spider-Man: Homecoming is the best MCU movie. I don't think Captain America is the best MCU movie. So, but that again, that doesn't mean I didn't enjoy it. Some of my favorite parts of the movie, oddly enough, wasn't Black Panther, and I think that's kind of across the board because I don't hear a lot of people talking about Black Panther per se when when they're talking about the movie. They're talking about a lot of the other side characters, like they're talking about Shuri, talking about Killmonger, obviously. They're talking about I forget the name, the girl who plays Michonne in Walking Dead. They're talking about her character. She was actually funny enough. The more I thought about it, I think she was my favorite character in the movie. She was awesome. Her whole arc and stuff was really cool, but I just loved how much of a badass she was and just like how she was just like I don't know, she was the perfect right-hand woman per se to T'Challa. She was just I don't know. I just enjoyed her a lot. And it shocked me because I didn't expect her to be one of my favorite characters, let alone probably my favorite character from the from the movie. But she was awesome, so I can't wait to see more of her. I hope like because obviously Black Panther is going to be in Infinity War, but I hope like other little side characters like that will also make it Infinity War or Avengers 4 because those characters are awesome. Like I would imagine John Favreau's character Happy is gonna be in Infinity Wars, and he's like more of a side character. Same thing with I guess like a Pepper Potts or Ned from Spider-Man: Homecoming. Those little characters that kind of help out these big characters. I hope they get like a little bit of screen time in an Infinity War or Avengers 4, especially or seeing Shuri, his T'Challa's sister. Dude, she was. I loved how she was like basically yeah because she's responsible for all their tech and stuff, right? But that kinda also means she's responsible for, like, the most advanced tech in the MCU when you think about it, because vibranium is, like, one of the most advanced things in the MCU or the most advanced thing, hence why they're in hiding for the world. They don't wanna share with the world yet, and that's, like, a big part of the story, but that's crazy. So she's inventing these things, so she's basically, like they don't say it, but you could assume it's like, "Oh, so you're pretty much, like, the best inventor in the MCU right now, right?" So so, that's cool. What else did the opening scene for this movie? Could we like the whole like for because that's actually my favorite part of the movie. Like the first like 15, 20 minutes, bro. Like how they explain everything with vibranium and how like the meteor hit Wakanda and how just like the CGI and it does everything. It was really cool. And then how it goes into again, this is spoilers, guys. I said this is my spoiler review, so you've been warned. So like how it starts off with T'Chaka, also T'Chaka in his Black Panther uniform, bro, how he was sporting like the gold and stuff like that with like the little claws on his neck and stuff, so cool. And then they had the guy from This Is Us. I forget his name. I don't know if you guys watch This Is Us. I watched that with my wife. I love that freaking show. This Is Us. Anyway, the guy from This Is Us was playing T'Chaka's um, brother and T'Challa's uncle, and he was great. And that whole just interaction where like we find out from the jump that like he's like secretly, helping Vibranium get to like outside of Wakanda and sharing it with like the rest of the world and just like that whole bit was awesome. Then how we find out later the Forrest Whitaker's character was that the younger kid, he was a spy. Well, we find out he's a spy there, but we find out like who he actually is later and he explains it to T'Challa. Just all that stuff, how that all kind of unraveled and interweaved was really cool. And I love one of the things that, as I said it in my spoiler free review that I liked Killmonger more on paper as a character more than I liked Michael B. Jordan's performance. Like, because I love the setup for it, like how everything tied back, like Killmonger's like origin and everything tied back to T'Challa. I thought that was really clever. It kept like kind of like paying off and stuff, paying off and stuff. But I did say I had a gripe with him, and my gripe was I just felt personally that Michael B. Jordan kind of like overacted with it a bit, I guess. But I know in the comment section, I know a lot of people were like, "But that's how people do. They have to try to act like overly tough to get the point across that like they're mean. That's kind of just like how that whole shtick is." And I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, it's just personal opinion. Everyone's got a personal opinion. Tomatoes, tomatoes." um, so again, I really liked how that was all tied to T'Challa. But a thing that I noticed, or I haven't seen really, is what I don't see many people talking about. Is a lot of people are talking about Killmonger because they're like he's the best villain ever. Well, he was a good villain and stuff. I personally don't think he's the best villain in the MCU. He was good. Don't get me wrong. I just don't think he's the best. But what I don't hear a lot of people talking about is actually T'Chaka. Like I thought T'Chaka's like whole thing was even cooler because while Killmonger, his intentions, were good and stuff like that, he's still a villain, right? He's a villain. Hence, like T'Challa not being like, yeah, let's do it, bro, because it's evil. Like you just don't go about things that way. So what I thought was really cool was how T'Challa I always like have to like think about. I'm like, am I gonna say T'Chaka or am I gonna say T'Challa? Because it's like so close to one another that I have to like. I'm not saying the dad, right? I'm saying the son. Anyway, T'Challa, um, was like, yeah, no, though we have to go about this because his whole thing it was subtle and he really addressed it at like the first end credit scene. But even though it was subtle, his whole message was basically like, no, we have to go about this the right way. We can't just kill people. Everyone, has to get along with one another. We have to be equal. It's not about like, you know, these people or that people or X, Y, and Z. We have to learn to get together as a whole. And that's I think is a great message. I think that's something that shouldn't be overlooked because I think that's like the best message from the movie because yes, we all need to get along. Everyone needs to love each other. We need to live in harmony. That's like the heroic thing. This is a superhero movie. I mean, obviously we love villains and stuff like that, and it's cool to like, feel for them and stuff. And that's what makes a good villain because you could like, you know, feel for them and be like, yeah, I can kind of relate. But at the end of the day, it's the hero. The hero's the one's doing good, right? So I think that was the coolest part for me, especially at the end where it tied it together, was like, no, we just have to figure this out and do it a certain way. And it's cool, like now that because I didn't expect that either. It's cool now how like he's in the U.S. and he's letting them know that like we have all this tech and we're gonna help you out and all that stuff. But it was just, I just thought that was really cool. Another gripe I had though was Andy Serkis's character. Okay, right? So Claw, I think every comic book fan would know is Claw is pretty much like that's Black Panther's like enemy. Like that's his dude, right? Like I even said it in my origin of Killmonger episode where Killmonger doesn't really have that much of a rich history in comics, right? But it makes sense for why they wanted to make him the main villain in this movie. But still, going back to Claw, like again, Claw is okay. So he's a Black Panther villain. He's an Avengers villain. He's a Fantastic Four villain. He's been like on multiple villain teams. Like he's not no freaking Doctor Doom or like Venom or Green Goblin, but he's a character who's been around forever. You guys watch my History Club episode. He's been around for a minute. So, the fact that they killed him off in this movie, what? Why? Why would you do that? Like, again, because like excuse me, sorry, I had to burp. Andy Serkis did such a good job playing him. At least I'm just an Andy Serkis fan because Lord of the Rings, Caesar from Planet of the Apes, King Kong, Godzilla. Yeah, I guess you guys probably know that he did a lot of motion capture for Godzilla. But anyway, Andy Serkis is great. But anyway, just even besides Andy Serkis' performance, which I really liked, Claw, you can't. How you? That's my problem with because even with Killmonger too. That's my problem with Marvel movies. They always kill like 'cause everyone would agree, right? Everyone loves Killmonger, right? That's like the general consensus. Everyone like loves a lot of villains from these movies, like whether you liked Claw or not, whatever. But their main problem is they keep killing villains. Why? Why do you keep killing villains? Like especially like I wonder if like they regret it too. Like if Disney regrets it because like especially with Killmonger because everyone's like loving him so much. Like the mass consensus is everyone loves this guy. So it's like I wonder if like crap, maybe we could use the Infinity Gauntlet to bring him back. maybe to bring him back for like a second or third movie. You know what I mean? Although I mean the way he died and stuff at the end kind of even pushed that message, further because the cause he believed in and stuff. It's like no, so maybe not. But you guys know what I mean? They're still in that like, yes, we're gonna give you a good villain and then we're gonna kill him. Why? Why? Like I don't get it. So like when I said in my review, my spoiler free review, that the villains still have, believe this movie still has the MCU villain problem. That's what I was talking about. So now I can elaborate on it. So when I said in my spoiler free review that this movie still has the MCU villain problem, I was saying or meaning that they still keep killing off like both the villains in this movie. They kill them. Why? I feel like I'm talking in circles, but I'm passionate about this because it's annoying. Like, especially what is it? Red Skull? Yeah, one of the most iconic characters ever. You could argue that he's not dead, but he's still been gone since like year one of the MCU or year two of the MCU. What other I guess like the only one they kept around pretty much is like Loki. And he's not even like a villain so much anymore as they made him like an anti-hero because like he just goes back and forth now for like whatever cause is going to benefit him. He's like Sinestro in that way. So um I don't know, I just wish they wouldn't have killed off the villains, especially, but I don't know. So but like I just don't know. Like maybe it made more sense, I guess, to kill off Killmonger because that kind of pushed his whole like, his story and what he believed in, and even what he said at the end is like, nah, I'm not gonna live like in chains and stuff. So it's like, okay, that makes sense for him, whatever. But then like you have Claw, who again is like you could argue or even just say like that's probably like the Joker to Black Panther because first of all he killed T'Chaka. He killed T'Chaka. Like in the comic books, that's what happened. So that's like that right there is like, yeah, that's ultimate villain status. Hence, like like Reverse Flash killing Barry Allen's mom, ultimate villain status. That's kind of like when you kill someone's parents, it kind of brings you from here to here. Kind of puts you up there. I just thought they could have used them more. We didn't really see much of him. His arm was really cool too. I thought that was really cool. How it kind of basically looked like a mannequin's arm, and the whole time you can kind of see like cracks and stuff in it. And then but I don't know. That's just stop killing off villains, Marvel. At least good ones. Just like switch it up for Phase 4. Can we? Before I say for Phase 4, I swear to you, if they kill Thanos by the end of Infinity War or by the end of Avengers versus 4, I don't even know. I I love the MCU. You guys know that. Like the MCU is awesome as a whole. Obviously, some movies are better than others, but I love it so much. It's done. I think it's probably done the most for the comic book genre in general of movies. Uh, but if they kill Thanos in Infinity War or Avengers 4, I swear, like you can't kill Thanos. That's like what? There's just well, first off, would you even believe that? Like, as a comic book fan, would you be like, "Yeah, totally." Like, you could beat him and stuff, but it's like you can't kill the. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, if they kill him, I don't even know. But what else? Let's see what else. Black Panther, blah blah blah. His costume is really cool, and I saw a good theory. I saw a very good theory recently. I'm surprised that I was surprised. Like, why didn't I think of that? You know how in this movie he gets a new costume from his badass sister. Well, um, you know how it kind of comes over him like nanotech, like he basically thinks about it. It's like all on his necklace. Well, as we've seen in the Infinity War trailer, Tony Stark, Iron Man, is also going to have a suit that comes on like nanotech. So, did Tony Stark invent that? Or is Shuri or just T'Challa in general going to be the one who's like, here's that technology, or here we'll help you figure this out? I don't know. Obviously, in the comics, Tony Stark is the one that does that stuff. But in the MCU, is Black Panther the one like, here you go, we'll help you, buddy. We're the most advanced nation in the world. No biggie. It's on us. We're on the Avengers. We're teammates. It's good. So I'm wondering. I think that would be kind of cool because again, the MCU. That's another cool thing. Just talking about the MCU as a whole, how it's kind of like become its own thing. Because for like a long time, I even do it. It's like, yeah, but it's not like the comic books. It's like far from the comic books. But the MCU, I think, is done so well for itself and made itself its own thing. Like it's literally now its own universe now. Sorry, my voice cracked. Its own universe now that you rarely, if ever, hear people be like, but it's not like the comic books because they've established it so well. It's like it's almost like the ultimate universe for the Marvel comics. You know what I mean? Like no one ever complained because you have the 616 universe, then you have the ultimate universe. So if things were different, you didn't care because you knew it was a different universe. And now you have the MCU. So no one really complains because you're like, yeah. it's a different universe. So that's really cool. What if like one day they kind of tied like the MCU all around to like even in the comics? Obviously, there's MCU comics, but you know what I mean. Like they somehow figured a way to be like, oh, the MCU is just another Earth. That'd be crazy. Unless they, I don't think they already did that. That'd be shocking. I don't think they did that. But if they did that, how crazy would that be? Like, oh, this is just part of the multiverse, right? Why the heck not? um, but yes, talking about his costume was really cool. The one thing I thought I said it in my spoiler free review too about Black Panther is that I felt like Black Panther was way more formidable in Civil War. Like I still stand by it. Like he was tough and awesome in Civil War. And I think someone said in comments on a video, they're like, that's because he had hate in his heart. Okay, given he was more aggressive because he had hate in his heart. Either way, though, those fight scenes were still. I mean, I feel like it's almost unfair though, to kind of like, judge any MCU movie compared to like the Russo brothers fights, because the Russo brothers, they direct the fight scene like no one's freaking business, and they get the freaking fight choreographers from John Wick. So when together fight scenes ever, because I personally think the best fight scenes come from Winter Soldier, Captain America Winter Soldier in Civil War, and that's because they use the same choreographers from John Wick, and then obviously the Russo brothers are apparently fantastic at directing action. Anyway, I thought Black Panther's fighting was way cooler in Civil War, but I don't know if that's on purpose or not, because in Black Panther T'Challa was a lot more conflicted. Like, you know what I mean? Like he was a lot more kind of like he was questioning himself a lot, which was part of the story. So I don't know if that had anything to do with it. All I know is the Black Panther in Civil War was, jeez. I had to watch the whole movie over again and pull clips for episodes I've been doing on Black Panther, and I'm just rewatching this. I'm like, oh my, so cool. Just the cool flippies and the way they make him use his claws all the time. And he's just very cat like and agile. We didn't really get to see much of that in this movie, which is very disappointing. And I was like, dang it. I mean, you got the jungle scene where it was kind of like all kind of Batman esque, where the dog gives him away, he's in the tree and comes down. But it was kind of dark. I mean, you could see it, but the camera's very close. It was kind of dark, so I was like, all right, like I get it. It's nighttime, black costume, you're not gonna be able to see much, so like they're letting like the muzzle flashes like do that stuff. So I don't know. That's just one of my little gripes. And then even the end scene, which I compared to Spider-Man 3 when Spider-Man's fighting Venom when they're falling from the building. Sorry, but I even put that clip up in the spoiler review. So if you saw that, you, it's true. Tell me that's not true. I can't be the only one in the theater when you saw Killmonger and Black Panther falling down to like the center cave thing where all the vibranium is. That you're like Spider-Man 3. Come on, man, because I think everyone knows Spider-Man 3 is like not a well-received movie. It's not the best comic book movie, so I don't think you wanna pull from that movie. You don't want to take a lending hand from that movie. Uh, with that said, it looked a little video game to me. The boss fight, I guess you want to say, the end fight, the end battle, whatever, looked a little video game to me, which isn't necessarily just a problem. I feel like with Black Panther, I feel like a lot of just movies in general, especially comic book movies, have been kind of going that route. I remember when I first saw that Spider-Man's costume was all like CGI in Civil War. I was like, why though? Why not be more practical? So I mean, that's kind of just where things are going in general. It's just kind of annoying. I like the perfect blend of like practical and CGI, not just like I'm watching a really good PS4 game. So uh that's my thoughts on it. But like again, in summary, I like the movie. I enjoyed it. The one thing I will say though, I know I said it in summary, but the one thing I will say though, at least for me personally, I didn't walk away with like a standout like action moment or just moment. Like, like usually in every like movie, like MCU movie, there's like something like, oh, you talk about that scene forever, right? Like, given I know this movie was more story based, it was an origin movie, totally got it. But even still, like for me, every movie, especially superhero movie I go to, there has to be at least one or two things I'm constantly talking about with my friends and family and stuff. Like, um, for instance, it doesn't even have to be action. Spider-Man: Homecoming. Spider-Man: Homecoming. When spoiler alert, if you haven't seen Spider-Man: Homecoming, when Vulture finds out that Peter is Spider-Man, and that whole car scene that was so intense, crazy scene. And then you have like the action side of it, where like in Civil War, where freaking I believe it's Bucky. He takes the motorcycle, he rips the guy off the motorcycle, and takes it, whips it around, and gets on it. Tell me your mouth didn't drop when you saw when they're coming out of the underpass. You're like, Like there's always like basically all the movies kind of have something like that. Like Guardians of the Galaxy, you remember like when they're breaking out of jail and stuff like that. They have like these big scenes. You're like, oh, it's really cool. And I don't feel like there was really one. There was something like that for me in this movie. Again, I liked it, but I don't think there was like this one alone standalone moment where I was like, bro, that was awesome. Like, although I said it in my review, I have to mention this because I said I was going to talk about it a little more. And I'm remembering more things. So I've only seen the movie once, so I'm trying to like go through it in my head, be like, oh yeah, okay. So although with that said, there was two, but they were like really little. It was like literally like that, right? Uh, when T'Challa, when the rhino's coming after him and he freaking just jumps on it and takes it to the ground. I geeked out hardcore because that's from the comic books. Like I literally, before the movie even came out in a panel of a previous, I think it was a Killmonger episode. No, it was the Batman verse Black Panther episode. And that episode, I put a picture of T'Challa taking down a rhino, and so to know that like Ryan Coogler took that right out of the comic books, yes, yes, man. Or even when when I did the origin of Killmonger episode when he threw Black Panther off Warrior Falls. That happens in this movie. I'm like, yes. So like again, I'm like the comic book guy. Like I don't really judge these movies. Like I'm not a movie reviewer. So you guys need to know that off the bat. I'm not literally like a movie reviewer. I'm the comic book guy, right? So when I'm judging this movie or any other movie, sure, I'm looking at was the story good, was the pacing good, obviously. But I'm not like the film critic who's going to be like, oh well, what was like this guy's intent, or what was this message, or what was that, or how was the cinematography? Like that's I'll touch on the obvious, but that's not what I like, I'm like a pro at. I'm going to judge it as like how was this? Was it true to the characters? Was it entertaining? How was it as like a comic book movie? So like I feel like if you guys kind of know that, like don't expect to be when you watch any of my comic book reviews like is he going to critique this like, like a true film critic? No, I'm coming at it from the comic book guy. Like if you want to know like what I thought from the comic book side of the world, like how was the origin, did they even though they changed his character, did it stay true to like his overall idea or just character? That's where like I'm at. Or like if you want me to pull out like Easter eggs, like I just said, like from the comics, that's me. That's me all day long. So I'm not the guy who's gonna like touch on all that stuff. There's plenty of other YouTubers who'll get into that. You want the comic book side of things? Me, right here. That's me. But in summary, though, again, I enjoyed the movie. Is it my favorite Marvel movie? No, but again, I only have one favorite Marvel movie. That's Civil War. But it was definitely fun, and I want to see it again. I do want to see it again. But with that said, I already did a spoiler free review. I talked about this. I don't even know for how long now, but I got more stuff to talk about. So I'm gonna move on, people. All right. So next up is more Superman news. Going into the actual comic book world now. I feel like this has just been on everyone's mind lately. There hasn't been that much comic book news come out this week, but losing my train of thought. Superman's Red Trunks, right? So as you guys know, in Action Comics 1000, which is I think is right around the corner, it's coming out, and there's going to be so many variant covers for that. Variant covers. There's going to be so many variant covers for it. Anyway, as he's getting his red trunks, and it was revealed that Bendez is going to tell us why he's putting on the red trunks. So I guess they're going to have the origin of why he's putting on the red trunks in his back on, I guess. So that's cool, and I don't know if it's permanent or not. It seems like it's gonna be permanent because I read an article where I guess Dan DiDio, co-publisher for DC Comics, was asking Bendis about it. It's like, yeah, it just makes sense, so people like it and stuff like that. I don't know what the exact quote was, but it was pretty much like, yeah, it seems like it's gonna be permanent. So, again, that's not solidified yet, but I would say at this point, Superman is wearing those red trunks for a long time once again, which I'm fine with. That's the Superman I grew up with. Do I like him without the red trunks? Sure. I think, it's more modern, looks more, up to date. I like it both ways. I pretty much don't care at this point. I'm like, sure, whatever. Plus, they'll probably revert it back anyway. It's just the world of comics. They'll get bored in 2 years, bring it back. Is what it is. Kind of like no comic book character stays dead. But yeah, at least we'll get a reasoning for why he decides to put the red shorts back on once again. But going back, so that's that. Just want to let you guys know we are going to get some reasoning for that in Action Comics 1000. Um, but going to a different topic, another movie, a straight to home movie, to Blu-ray, DVD, digital download movie, we have Batman Gotham by Gaslight. Now, you guys know I'm a big, big fan of the DC animated movies. Ever since I believe the first one was Superman Doomed, which is based on obviously the death of Superman, and they're redoing that actually. But anyway, that was back in the day when they started them off all over again. I'm a big fan of the DC animated universe, especially because first of all, Batman the animated series, which is back here. Look at that picture, Batmobile, cool. Yeah, that right there is what got me into comic books. Without that series, I would not be here staring into this camera and talking to this mic and talking to you guys. So it's very, very near and dear to my heart. So that obviously branched off into the DC animated universe of movies and stuff. It all kind of came from there because Bruce Timm, the co-creator, and Alan Burnett and Paul Dini are all producing and still working on these animated movies. And so for a while they were awesome, right? So like Superman Doomed was really good. Batman Under the Red Hood was amazing. Batman Beyond Return of the Joker, what's probably that is like that Mask of the Phantasm. They're like up there. What else? Batman Superman Public Enemies, Batman Superman Apocalypse, um, Green Lantern Emerald Knights. Just list goes on. Like for a while they were pumping out solid ones. Like I remember at the time, like this was before I was on YouTube. So at the time, like give you a little backstory of Arris. Why not? So at the time, I was working in Boca Raton, Florida. I was working at a security company. Basically, I did like I was like warehouse supervisor for refurbing surveillance cameras for like Walmarts and stuff like that. So whenever you walk into like a Hollister or a Walmart and you see like the cameras or you have like those little sensor things that you walk through that beep if you steal something, I dealt with like refurbing and sending all that stuff to like the engineers. Anyway, that was pre-YouTube Eris. Anyway, after work, I would go every Tuesday and be like super excited. And I would go home and I watch movies, and it was awesome. That's also how I like rewatched a lot of Justice League Unlimited and Batman Beyond. That's because that's when they were like finally releasing all this stuff on DVD, and I was like, yes, this is awesome. So I remember still even further back than that, I was still in high school when. So you guys remember Suncoast in the mall? I don't know if you guys remember that, where they would send like all like back in the day where they would have all those movies and they had like Dragon Ball Z action figures, like the old school ones, and just like the anime section and stuff. That's where like the nerds would go to like buy their anime and watch all that stuff and like get the DBZ toys. Anyway, Suncoast was awesome, all the indie films and stuff like that. Anyway, I remember they released the volume one of Batman the animated series and it had the first season, and that like rabbit hole. So I was like, oh, I could own this physically now. I love this. And then they did volume two, volume three, volume four. That was the whole thing. Then they released the whole season as one. Then they released Superman the animated series, and then they released Batman the animated series. All that stuff. All right. Anyway, with that said, I love the DC animated universe, but for a while, once they went into the New 52 stuff, I think like the what was it? The one that was based off of the origin story for the New 52 Justice League. I forget the name of it. I think it was Justice League War. Yeah, Justice League War. I believe that's it. Once they got to that, for me, it would kind of go. Then they got to like Batman and Son, where they introduced Damian, and just all that. And then Batman versus Robin, which was good. But once they got into that era with Justice League or Justice League Throne of Atlantis or Aquaman Throne of Atlantis, I forget what the actual animated movie was called. It was like a spin-off of the book. Once they got into that, it was like kind of, I was like, dang it. There was good ones. Like there was the Arkham one with Suicide Squad was really good. But if it went from being like hit to like, yeah, okay, that stinks. With that said, um, Batman Gotham by Gaslight was a very clever surprise because especially after they if you guys know anything about me or have been watching the channel for a while, you know that like as far as like comic book stories for me, favorite comic book stories, it's Batman the Killing Joke, and then it's probably The Dark Knight Returns. Like those are up there. Maybe even Flash Rebirth. I really love Flash Rebirth, guys. It's just I know it's a more modern story, but man, is that a good story. Anyway, Killing Joke is like probably my favorite not Batman story, just comic book story of all time. I would say, yeah, I think it's safe to say that Killing Joke is my favorite Batman story or just comic book story of all time. So, needless to say, when I found out that Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill were doing a movie, an anime movie, and they were voicing Batman and the Joker, I was like, yes. And I saw it and was like, no. Like it really, really just like if they were ever to get a DC animated movie right based off of one of their like famous stories, I wanted it to be that one and to let me down, especially Mark Hamill, Kevin Conroy, like Batman and Joker themselves. Anyway, so with that said, Gotham by Gaslight, I only say that because Gotham by Gaslight is one of it's definitely top five favorite Elseworld stories. I love Elseworld stuff. You guys know I talk about it a lot on the channel. Whenever I got a chance to, I try to finagle a way to be like, what can I talk about Elseworld? Just because it's fun. I love talking about alternate versions, hence that being a thing on the episode. I love talking about alternate versions of characters uh, on the channel because I just think it's cool. Hence people liking the Injustice series so much. It's an alternate version of Superman and Batman and all that stuff. So Gotham by Gaslight is one of my favorite alternate versions or like Elseworld books stories of Batman. It's Batman in the Victorian era facing off against Jack the Ripper. That is awesome. Like just that alone. Of like I was in a pitch meeting and like someone's like, "Hey, got an idea. Victorian era, Batman is gonna go after Jack the Ripper." I'm like, "Yeah, sold. Duh. That's like a no brainer." It's one of those things you say that you're like, "Yes, why haven't we done that?" So I was nervous slash really excited for this movie to come out because I was like, please don't give me another Killing Joke. Because The Dark Knight Returns was really good. That two-part movie that was really good. But Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill doing The Killing Joke, like that should have been like my favorite animated movie of all time. It was not. um, so I was nervous, but this dude, it was really. I was pleasantly surprised. It was really, really good. I'm gonna do spoilers about it, or should I do spoilers? Let me see. Let me know in the comment section if you want me to do spoilers. With Batman Gotham by Gaslight, I'll look at a little bit of comments and see what the consensus is. If not, I'm gonna do spoiler free in the meantime, just because I know not everyone has bought the movie and able to watch it, even though it's been out for like I believe a week or not or so. I think it's been out for like yeah, it came out like a week or two ago. Um. Anyway, the twist is really good because, like, in the comic book, the whole thing is basically Batman. He's a detective, so he's trying to figure out who Jack the Ripper is. Because just like in real life, we never found out who Jack the Ripper is. Like, there's like four guys that they think it might have been, but no one knows definitively who Jack the Ripper was. Just because the times, it was a lot easier to get away with that. Unfortunately, it was a lot easier to get away with that stuff back in the day. So you have Batman trying to figure out. I guess the consensus seems is no spoilers. Sorry. Yes. Yes, no. Tell you what, I'm gonna do a non-spoiler, and then I'll go into spoiler at the end, and I'll warn you guys. So this is the spoiler-free part. So there's a really cool twist, and they kind of set it up where it's like there's 3 to 4 possible people, but then it's kinda like 2 of them are so obvious, you're like, "There's no way it's gonna be that person," because that's just, like, so heavy-handed, there's no way. But just even the animation, it was done by Bruce Timm, so it was very much reminiscent of Batman the Animated Series. I love what they did with other characters, like Poison Ivy's in it, like, she's in it in the very beginning. I love what they did with her character. Um then what is it? Okay, I'm just gonna go spoilers with this. Sorry guys. I'm sorry for people who don't want spoilers. I gotta do it because I can't talk about it freely without. So spoilers. One, two, three. Spoilers. Okay, so in the movie, like in the very beginning, there's these orphans that are gonna like trying to steal money from or get money. They're holding up this older couple, right? So and they're talking about the bat. There's like, don't you know you can't do that? The Batman's coming. But there's 3 of them, but they're saying each other's names, right? So the first kid's name is Dickie. All right. The second kid's name is Jason, and then the third kid's name is Tim. So Dick Grayson, Jason Todd, Tim Drake. So like those are the Robins in this world. And then like Poison Ivy is like a burlesque dancer in the very beginning, and she gets killed. I said spoilers. She gets killed by Jack the Ripper like really early on. But it's really cool to see what they do with that. And Catwoman is the love interest for Bruce. Obviously, they're getting married right now in the comics. She has a like she's never in a cat suit, but she does carry like a whip under her skirt or under her dress, which is really cool, like on her thigh. And she kind of goes at Jack the Ripper because he's trying to kill her, but she kind of holds her own. Batman comes and saves her. Anyway, it's just really cool. The animation is really cool. I love the costume. I just love it. Just really, you know what it felt like? It was like I was watching Sherlock Holmes, but Batman style, which was awesome because I love Sherlock Holmes. So that was really cool. And then by the end, I did call it though. I'm not just saying that. I did call who it was because I was like, "That's too obvious. That's too obvious." They killed him, and then by the end, we find out spoilers. If you don't want to know who Jack the Ripper is in this movie, this is the biggest spoiler I'm going to give away. So you turn that volume down right now if you don't want to know. I have warned you. I'm giving you time. If you are like not by your remote, this is ample enough time for you to get off your butt and press pause or turn me off. I'm ranting. I'm stalling on purpose for you guys so you can't get mad at me because I'm about to spoil it. So the Jack the Ripper is um Jim Gordon. He is Jim Gordon, which I thought was really, really cool. I thought, but I kind of figured out at a certain point. 'Cause I'm like, it's not that person, it's that person, and then that's Tim, or my producer. You weren't gonna watch it. You were gonna. You should. You could have been like, don't do a spoiler. You could. He could have easily told me not to say a spoiler. He didn't stop me. Anyway, anyway, it is Jim Gordon, which is crazy, and the way they do it is really cool. They explain why he's able to, because if you know anything about Jack the Ripper in real life, like he was like they think he was a surgeon because like as gross as it is, he was able to remove organs like cleanly and like a surgeon within like 10 minutes. Which I was watching, like I got into like a vortex after it and literally went on YouTube and started watching like documentaries of Jack the Ripper. And apparently to be able to remove like certain like kidneys and organs like properly in like 10 minutes is like unheard of. Like surgeons today can't even, like not all surgeons today can even do that. So like whoever this killer guy was like highly skilled. So like they explained how Jim Gordon, is good at that stuff, even though it's gross. They explain how he's good at mutilating bodies. They also explain how he's a good fighter and all that stuff. And it's just a really good movie, man. I highly recommend it. Obviously, most of the people in here now have seen it because I spoiled the crap out of it. But I warned you. I warned you guys. So, but spoilers are over. So, if you guys want to tell in the comment section, no more spoilers for that movie. Just know that I loved it. Really good. I hope this is a good sign for things to come because I know we are getting a Suicide Squad movie again next, and but I think there's another one. I know we're also getting another Doomsday, Death of Superman movie in the future. Yes, I believe so. Anyway, but that is that. And right now I'm going to open it up to Q&A because other than that, there hasn't been really much big comic book news, oddly enough, to come out this week. But I think that's more than enough, right? So I'm going to go to the comment section right now and answer some questions. Let me pop out the chat here. I love explaining to you guys like what I'm doing. That's why I'm looking to the side. I'm reading what you're saying to me now. So ask away, and I will answer several. Yes, Black Manta, Suicide Squad, Hell to Pay. Yes, I love the first Suicide Squad movie that was based off the Arkham games. And that was really cool. Bruce Wayne asked, "Oh my God, Batman's here, dude! I'm your biggest fan." Bruce Wayne asks, "Arris, can you show us your man cave? Possibly in the future. I do stuff like that more. I've done it already, actually. I've done stuff like that on my personal Instagram account because I go live on there. So if you want to, I do it periodically because I like always adding stuff to it. So if you want to see my man cave, maybe in the future I might do it on the channel, but for sure on my Instagram. So you can follow me on Instagram at ArrisQ, and then when I go live, I'll put it on my story and leave it up for like 24 hours. And I show like all my action figures. I show my comic book collection. I actually just rearranged it, funny enough. So like I have like a Batman animated series wall, like a shrine with all like the action figures and books, and I have like my Alex Ross Justice League with all the Justice League figures out. And I have like I have the Spider Verse shelves. I've been collecting that, so I have like every Marvel Legends Spider-Man version of Spider-Man figure currently out by Hasbro. And then under that, I have like all the Spider-Man villains. So I have like Shocker, Venom, Carnage, and they're all under that. And then I got like Pops, Batman made stuff, comic books, glass cases with hot toys in it, just fun stuff. If you want to see that in the future, I have pictures currently on my Instagram, but periodically I'll go live with that on my Instagram. So that answers that. Bruce Wayne says, "Okay, Batman, you'll follow me." Okay, good. Thanks, Batman. Thanks, Bruce. Now I can tell people that Batman's following me. That's a win. All right. Let's see what do we got here. Da-na-na-na-na. Dennis clearly says, "What if Quicksilver obtained the Speed Force? If Quicksilver obtained the Speed Force, then he would be really, really fast." I'm assuming you're asking, like, does that mean he'll be faster than Barry? Not necessarily. I mean, I guess it really depends on how the writer wanted to write it. But I think you're probably thinking of it like, does that mean like his normal speed would just be amplified with the Speed Force? I don't think so. I mean, I feel like once you're connected to the Speed Force, that's just like a whole nother thing in itself. I don't think it's gonna like make him double quick. So, if you're saying that, will that make him be able to beat one of the Flashes? I don't think so. It'll probably make him on par or like any other speedster in the DC universe. Let's see here. Here, I don't know why I said here like that. Let me see here. um, Crazy says, "Did you see the Batman Ninja trailer?" Yes, I have. I've actually talked to. It seems like you guys are really digging that Batman Ninja trailer. Because I don't know if it's the same person, but a lot of people keep asking me about that. Like almost every variant live, which is cool. But I have seen it. It looks awesome. I'm very excited. As you guys know, I'm kind of like on an anime kick. I've always liked anime, like I said, but I'm kind of like on a kick where I'm just trying to watch more of it, dive more into that world. So Batman then anime mixed together. Of course, I'll be reviewing it on here. That's like an obvious. So yes, it looks really cool, and I'm excited. Samuel says, "Are you going to Fan Expo Dallas?" Yes, I am. I usually go to all the local cons here. If you guys don't know, I live in Texas, the Dallas Fort Worth area. So any local con, like Fan Expo, Dallas Comic Con, Fan Days, I usually go to all those because why not? I don't necessarily like always or have a booth at them, but I at least go to have fun and just enjoy it. So I will be going to Fan Expo Dallas. I think it's in April, right? Is that the next one? I don't remember. But I go to all of them. I just submit for all of them, and then I go because comic books, and I like comic books. It is in April? It's in April, okay. So April, I will be there. I don't know, if enough people are going and you want, maybe we could set up, like, a meet and greet or something. That could be something cool. Let's see, what else? Drag Muffety? I'm not even gonna try to pronounce that name. But your question is, what did you think of Gotham by Gaslight? I literally just went on like a 10-minute spiel, 10-minute rant on that. So when this is over, or even now, I think you can rewind it, and then you will find out what I thought about Gotham, Gotham by Gaslight. Shane Squintsfield asked, I think I may have pronounced your last name wrong. I'm very sorry, but your first name is Shane. I know how to pronounce that. Last name isn't not me. Last names are hard to pronounce, right? Like my last name is Quinones, has like an Enya over it. Now, if you didn't know, it'd probably be pretty hard to pronounce. Anyway, you're asking, are you worried about the DCEU? Yes. No, I am. I feel like DC, they're just like throwing things on a wall and seeing what sticks. Is kind of like what's unfortunate. Like cuz like right now like they have some cool things lined up with as far as Joaquin Phoenix. Oh, I haven't talked about that, huh? Wow, how have I not talked about that? I haven't talked about that on Very Live yet. Okay, so all right, let's go out of this Q&A for section for a second. Joaquin Phoenix is rumored or confirmed, I believe it's confirmed by now, or just attached to play the Joker in the standalone Joker movie directed by Todd Phillips, who I believe directed The Hangover. Yeah, Todd, not Todd Phillips. Joaquin Phoenix as the Joker, guys. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding? Like, I'm gonna say it. I'm just gonna say it. If anyone that I've heard of in recent years can rival, I'm not saying he's going to, but if anyone can rival Heath Ledger's performance as the Joker, it would be Joaquin Phoenix, in my personal opinion. I'm not saying he's going to, because that's some ballsy words. I think everyone would agree that Heath Ledger's Joker is not only one of the best comic book portrayals in all time, it's one of the best performances in cinema history. So that says a lot. But if anyone can, my boy Joaquin, I think can. So if directed well and a good story, I think that would be awesome. But let's take that one step further. This is not a thing, but can you imagine if you know how Jake Gyllenhaal is like the front runner or rumored to be the Batman in Matt Reeves' Batman movie? Can you imagine if it was Jake Gyllenhaal? I love Jake Gyllenhaal, such a good actor, playing opposite to Joaquin Phoenix as the Joker. My brain would break. A Matt Reeves directed film. I think everyone could agree he hasn't made a bad movie yet. With Jake Gyllenhaal's Batman, fantastic actor, and Joaquin Phoenix as the Joker, fantastic actor. I said Jake Gyllenhaal's Batman, right? Yeah, Jake Gyllenhaal's Batman, Joaquin Phoenix as Joker. Wow, wow. With that said, though, I'm worried because I feel like they're just doing things like I know like Michael Bay now apparently wants to do a Lobo movie, and I feel that Warner Brothers is gonna be like, yeah, it's Michael Bay. He makes billion-dollar movies. Let's give him 300 mil to make a Lobo movie. And it's just like, no, just can you? You need. I've said it before. My thing is, they need like a 5-year plan. Like they need one guy. They need a group. They need like the head, right? Like the head writer, or whatever, the president, whatever you want to say, head producer, whatever you want to call him. They need the one dude. They need their Kevin Feige in a room with several other writers and be like, okay, let's develop a 5-year plan, right? And stick to it. Not just like, oh yeah, Michael Bay wants to do a Lobo movie. Why not? Oh, we're gonna do a Shazam movie. Oh, why not? Oh, we're gonna do a Nightwing movie. Oh, why not? Like that's cool and all, and I want to see all these movies, but they need to do like what the MCU is doing and all go to an end goal. The reason why Infinity War is so awesome and so like highly anticipated because this is 10 years. 10 a decade in the making. Like literally every single Marvel movie you've seen has all been leading to this. This is what it's all amounted to, and people are invested. It's kind of like when you've been reading comic books for so long and then they revamp it, you're pissed because you're so invested and you've been following this for so long that when they change it, you're like, well, I've invested all my time and money for nothing now. So it's just like stop rebooting, stop doing one-offs, stop doing this stuff. Just do something. Use Flashpoint to fix everything, and then go forward with a plan. Again, I didn't think Justice League was the worst movie ever. I enjoyed it. I thought there was a lot of fun moments in it. What was BVS had a lot of cool parts. Overall, I thought it was sloppy. Man of Steel was okay. Suicide Squad I thought was fun, but overall, still just yeah, it was just fun to see those characters. So I don't know. I mean, yeah. I hope they just fix themselves. that was that was a long way to answer your question. All right, I'm gonna answer a few more questions, and then I'm gonna get out of here. And then you'll see my face on Wednesday for when we do a what? I'm gonna tell you for you guys tuning in, you're gonna get special treatment. This Wednesday is gonna be a history of Blade because you guys have been asking for it for a very long time now. Like I believe like Hellboy, Teen Titans, Blade, uh I think Raven. There's all been like highly requested episodes. So this week, Blade. You're gonna get a history of Blade episode. All right, let's see here. Lorenzo Bell said, "Who would win in a fight, Iron Fist or Daredevil?" I'm gonna give that one to Iron Fist. I think Iron Fist because that's what he's all about, right? All about the martial arts. Just make. I mean, Daredevil is a fantastic fighter, but it's kind of like asking like, when that character's whole thing is like their power is well, he has the Iron Fist, but that's part of his martial arts thing. When like that character's whole like thing is being a good fighter versus like a character who's like he's a good fighter, but that's not his whole thing more so than not, you're just gonna give it to the person who's like that's what he specializes in. Plus, I believe in the top 10 Marvel fighters, we ranked them all. So there's that. You can go watch that, and it's not going to be in the description below. Maybe we'll put the link in the description below after, but you can just search variant top 10 Marvel fighters. All right, two more questions, then I'm going to get out of here, guys. Okay, Outcast Look says, "Who's the best Batman?" I mean, for me, that's like easy. Bruce Wayne. I mean, he is Batman. No matter like, don't get me wrong, Dick Grayson was a fantastic Batman, but it's like Bruce Wayne is Batman. You know what I mean? So, that's easy for me. Bruce Wayne. Let's see, Soggy Pancake. Soggy. That's an awesome name. Soggy Pancake says, Do, just know I literally read that question because your username was Soggy Pancake. Good for you. Soggy Pancake asks, "Do you want to see a Red Hood movie?" If you guys know anything about me, I love Red Hood. Love Red Hood. DC Collectibles at Toy Fair. This is a tangent again. Toy Fair was this weekend. DC Collectibles just announced a Red Hood statue that not that like I have to have, like I'm gonna have. Like it's just a matter of time. So no, but I love Red Hood a lot. Him and Nightwing kind of are like it's. I said it before. It's like depends on what mood I'm in because I like them both that much. So like Nightwing, Red Hood. They're just like they're my two favorite Robins, and they go back and forth for me. All right, one more question. Oh wait, Shane says again, Red Hood, please. We actually do have a history of Red Hood episode. Red Hood? A history of Red Hood episode. We have a history of Red Hood episode in the works. I believe it's gonna be in the coming months. Next month? Something next month. Look at that. Next month we I don't we have like a big like Google Doc with like episodes like logged out for like months and stuff. So next month is a history of Red Hood, and that's gonna be fun. I'm excited to write that episode because I love me some Red Hood. Okay. I've said this a lot, but this is really gonna be the last question. This is really gonna be it. But you guys are entertaining. You're getting me on these fun tangents. All right, let's see. I'm gonna look for a good one. I'm gonna look for. I mean, they're all good, but you know what I mean. One that just sticks out to me. Let's see. What is your favorite superhero? I'm gonna just answer that real quick because that's easy. Batman. All right, that's like easy peasy. That doesn't count. That wasn't. I couldn't elaborate enough on that one. All right. That guitar guy says, this is a good one. That guitar guy says, "What's your favorite DCEU movie thus far?" Okay, so let's see what we got thus far. Let's break it down. We got Man of Steel, we got BVS, we got Suicide Squad, we got Wonder Woman, and we got Justice League. I believe in that order. Go me. So I think it's an easy question to say out of those five, Wonder Woman. A Wonder Woman. I was talking about that movie earlier today. I love Wonder Woman so much. I just love just I don't know. I just thought they portrayed her character very well. You know what they should have done? How they portrayed her character is almost how they should have portrayed Superman. Like being like an inspiration of hope, change, heroism. Like yes, like Wonder Woman's a little more like more on like no, they're kind of similar. They're kind of like on opposite ends. But yeah, Superman should have been like that. But Wonder Woman, I thought she was just portrayed really well. The action was awesome. I'm just a fan of Wonder Woman though too, and I just thought it was overall the best movie. I think most would agree. I mean, it's easily like the like not even on Rotten Tomatoes, just like on every like movie rater thing, like the highest rated DC movie. It's like no competition. Under that, I think would probably be Justice League, just because I mean I know there's a lot of problems with it and stuff, but I personally don't think there was near maybe Man of Steel. Meh, I don't know, maybe Man of Steel or Justice League. But Justice League, for me personally, I know it wasn't like the best movie ever, but I just had fun watching it. I think it was just the fact that I was like, I'm like, I know I'm kind of biased to it, like admittedly, like it's just I could finally see the Justice League on the big screen. So there's a lot of that to it because I know like technically it's not like this masterpiece by any means. And Flash was funny and stuff, although he was handled a little his running. The first time I saw the movie, I gotta say, I didn't really notice his running. The second time I saw the movie, Why is he running like that? Like the first time, like people were telling me, and I'm like, yeah, I didn't. And then the second time, I'm like, oh, I get it. So yeah, but it was just fun seeing them all together, and that Superman scene was awesome, where he's just wrecking shop on the Justice League. Why do we like seeing heroes beat up other heroes? It makes no sense, but we all love it, and it's fun. I don't know. With that said, guys, that's gonna wrap up this week of Variant Live. Like I said at the beginning of the episode, next week we're gonna be watching episodes 5 and 6 of Attack on Titan season 1. If you want to watch along with us and you don't have a way to do that, you could sign up with Verve, spelled VRV. Link is in the description below. You get a free 30-day ad-free trial, premium membership only through us, or the lovely people here at Variant Comics. But other than that, guys, I will see you, I guess, on Wednesday when I talk about Blade. So see you then, guys. Bye.